Hello, welcome to vlog episode 11. In this vlog, we're going to go over 5 different topics as usual. Topic number 1 is pretty simple, September in review. What were the interesting things that happened to me last month? I will go over them. One of those interesting things does happen to be Twitchcon, so I will talk a little bit about Twitchcon, what it was like in San Diego, and what it was like to attend the convention. Then we're going to get to the poker section of the vlog. I will go over my notable MTTs, so my best tournament scores and my best final tables. Then I would like to talk about average field size. That's what AFS stands for. And last but not least, then I'll go over my October plans and what we can expect from my stream and from me this coming month. First things first, what was September all about? To be honest, September was basically just W Coop for most people in poker, right? And for me, it was W Coop as well, but kind of in a different way. Twitch was crazy in September. During the day, all the big streamers were online. They were all streaming W Coop, and they were all trying to, get a good score in W Coop events. That was kind of September in a nutshell. In case you don't know what W Coop is, it's the World Championship of Online Poker, PokerStars series, biggest online tournaments of the entire year. From my experience with Scoop and W Coop last year, I thought, well, I'm not going to get a whole ton of viewers during the day if I try to stream. And not only that, W Coop is high buy-ins and I'm currently on a downswing. Perhaps I should try streaming at a different time of day where I can grow my stream, get more viewers, but also play smaller tournaments and softer tournaments because most of the pros had played earlier in the day in the W Coop events. So my thinking was that I was going to stream at night after most of the W Coop events were over, get more viewers that way, and also play softer tournaments. It actually went pretty well for the most part. My stream grew a nice amount. I got some nice hosts from some really cool people, and the tournaments were smaller and they were softer. So I think all in all, it was a successful month in that way. So yeah, streaming wise, poker wise, the whole switching to the night schedule for me, was really good. The problem was kind of life EV wise, streaming later wasn't as good as I hoped it would be. Just because I found out that I don't like waking up late in the day anymore. So usually when I was streaming, I was starting, say around 4 o'clock my time. And then I was going until, on average, 10 o'clock my time. And that was fine, right? I was able to stop streaming, take care of some miscellaneous things. Like there's a bunch of things I have to do when I'm done streaming. I can't just get off the computer right away. So I'd take care of that stuff. And then I'd have maybe an hour to wind down. I'd go to sleep around, say, 12 or 12:30. But then there were a couple days when I went deep in some tournaments, and unfortunately those days I ended up staying up later, and then I was going to sleep at, say, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock that night. And those days I would get up, obviously, later in the morning, because I like to get my full night's sleep if I go to sleep later. But that means that I was waking up later in the day, and that just wasn't good for me. I felt worse in general. I just felt my body was more sluggish and I felt more tired all the time. And I also didn't have as much time in the day because I was sleeping longer. And I don't know, just overall, I got less done and it wasn't as good for me. I just didn't feel that great. I think that the morning schedule, generally speaking, is more plus EV for my life. To be completely honest, I have no idea if it's more plus EV for streaming. I actually think the nighttime schedule for me is perhaps the best for growing my stream, but I think it just takes away too much from my my life outside of streaming for it to be worth it. I don't know for sure. I'm still kind of testing the waters. Now I'm back on the morning stream now here this month, now that TwitchCon and W Coop is over. And we will see what happens, but my gut feeling is that I'll stick to the morning schedule. But yeah, I do think that the night schedule is pretty plus EV, stream-wise and poker-wise as well. Other than W Coop and different times of streams, I went to TwitchCon. And yeah, TwitchCon has its very own section in this vlog because I've got a lot to say about it. So yeah, TwitchCon hype. Before I talk about TwitchCon, though, I want to say thank you to two people who sent me gifts in the mail last month. The first was UCI Hamster, who sent me that hamster that's back there on the Dyson fan. His name is Howie. Thank you so much, Hamster, for sending me a good luck charm. And thanks also to Neo Drow Turtle for sending me the Nelly soap. I actually made an Amazon wish list at his request, and I requested a kind of a like an all natural soap. It's an all purpose soap for like cleaning and stuff like that. So anyway, I love it. It smells amazing. So thanks so much, Turtle. Really appreciate it. Where to start with TwitchCon? I think first and foremost, it was an amazing weekend. And I guess it wasn't really what I expected at all. I expected San Diego to be cool. People had told me that they really love it in San Diego, so I was looking forward to seeing the city. And so I guess that wasn't surprising. I mean, San Diego's beautiful. It's just the nut place. It has a really cool city that seems just full of energy. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and the weather is amazing. It was so very nice. So San Diego lived up to the lofty expectations. I guess TwitchCon itself, I'm not exactly sure what I was expecting, but I didn't expect it to be as fun as it was. I've been to conventions before, and for me, they were, going to panels and taking some notes, listening to some good speakers, and yeah, I guess that's what I expected it to be. And it was that. There were good panels and there were good speakers, but there was so much more as well. I mean, there were board games, video games, a row of pinball machines, drinking, lounging, DJs. And I don't know, there was just so much to do, and I did not do everything that I wanted to do. So yeah, I mean, it was amazing. It was so much fun. When I got there, my head kind of exploded because there were so many people and so much energy and so much excitement, and it was hard to divide my time and get everywhere I wanted to get to. So yeah, that was really awesome. I did manage to go to a few panels. Not as many as I wanted to be completely honest. My sleep schedule got totally screwed in TwitchCon. Or at TwitchCon, whatever. And I was going to sleep just way later than usual, and then waking up really late. And then in the morning, I was like, oh, I don't really want to hurry to the convention center because I like to wake up slowly sometimes, and I felt like it was kind of a vacation. So I would get up in the morning, make a leisurely breakfast, sit around a little bit, and then at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I was waking up at 11, so it's not like it was that. It wasn't that long after I woke up. But anyway, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd be like, you know what? Should probably get to the convention center and see that panel I wanted to see. So yeah, that was kind of how my days went. But yeah, I did manage to make it to a couple panels. My two favorite, I had two panels that I really enjoyed. The first one was just legal issues that all streamers should know. It discussed mainly copyright issues, intellectual property kind of stuff. And it talked about, the rules, but also like, what do you do when you get a notice, or what do you do if you run into problems with that? So I thought that was pretty interesting. There are VODs, by the way. If you are interested in seeing these panels that I'm talking about, you can go to the Twitch website, and they've got video on demand. And because every single panel, I think every single panel is recorded, most of them at least. So anyway, they talked about copyright issues, and they also talked about forming an LLC. There you go. In case of lawsuits. And they kind of hammered home the point of, you don't have to be a huge streamer making a lot of money to get sued. So they said that you should really consider forming an LLC in case of lawsuits that you can't, so you're not risking everything that you have and everything that you own in the event that you do get sued. So Yeah, I found that panel really interesting. The other panel I really enjoyed was how to monetize your stream without selling out. And I think this is something that, well, it's something personally that I have struggled with a little bit since I started streaming. The truth about streaming for most people is that you go a very long time without making any money, and that was the case for me. But then this past year, I did get approached by some companies that wanted to work with me and that wanted to sponsor me. So kind of the struggle happened when a company that you don't know about or that I didn't know about approached me and wanted to give me money for things, and I wasn't really sure if I should because I didn't know if I believed in their product and believed in them. So this panel was kind of cool because they talked about well, like the title says, how to monetize without selling out. So they give great advice on how to be true to yourself and, not just taking all the money that's given to you and not just, not representing products that you don't believe in. So I mean, like they mostly just hammered home the point that there will always be another opportunity. If you're a good streamer, companies are gonna want to work with you. So don't worry. You don't have to work with a company that you don't actually like and that you don't actually believe in. So I thought that was really, really good to hear. And they had a Q&A afterwards, and I actually asked a question about negotiating with sponsors, and I was wondering, do most sponsors try to lowball you? Do most sponsors do they mind if you try to negotiate, that kind of thing? And they told me, well, it's different for every company, but you should always try to get what you're worth. And the worst thing that any company can say is no. So those were kind of the main things that I got from that panel, and I thought that was actually my favorite panel, the monetizing your stream. But the legal issues was cool too. So those were the two panels I liked best. Overall, I think that the panels at TwitchCon are mostly good. I think some of the panels are aimed more towards just different people in different situations. So I think that when I go to TwitchCon next year, I will be very careful to pick panels that I think can really help me a lot, because some of the panels are pretty boring when you're experienced with streaming and they're just saying stuff that you don't really care about. So I went to a couple panels that I was like, this kind of sucks. But I thought that the two panels that I really loved were really, really valuable. So I think that next year when I go, I will be pretty picky, and then maybe I can still wake up at 2 o'clock, and but still make it to the panels that I really want to see, and they'll be really valuable. So yeah, that's I guess all about TwitchCon. I did stay at an Airbnb and had some really good hosts, so that was pretty cool. I was able to make breakfast every single day, so I made my own breakfast in the morning. But I still ate out a lot. I ate a lot of restaurant food, and I actually broke out a lot. I rarely get pimples. I mean, I get them sometimes. I'm pretty sure everyone gets them sometimes, but I got pimples like I've never gotten before after TwitchCon, because I'm not used to eating that badly. So I did eat kind of poorly. My skin suffered, but I'm on the road to being healed. We're healing, guys. We're healing. So that's good. I'm glad that finally. Let's see. It's Tuesday. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, and I got home on a Monday. So it's been a week and a day. Yeah, it's good. It's good. TwitchCon was a lot of fun, though. It was amazing, and I've talked about this for so long, so I'll try not to go on too much more. But the other thing that made TwitchCon amazing, well, the main thing that made it amazing was the people. Just meeting cool streamers and having the chance to meet, the Twitch poker legends. It was such a great opportunity. And if you want to see some pictures, I did post a couple photos of the cool people that I met on Twitter. And so yeah, go take a look. I'm at courtiebee on Twitter. I'll leave a link down below in the description. But yeah, the people were so cool. I just hung out with the coolest people, and it was so fun. And it was just nice to get to know other people doing the same thing and having the same visions and the same dreams. And that was the coolest part about TwitchCon. I mean, the panels were great. San Diego was amazing. There was so much to do at the actual convention, but it was the people. And they were the reason why it was just awesome and more fun than I expected it to be as well, because the company was so great. So yeah. Okay, I'm done gushing. We will finally move on. Poker didn't go as well as I would have hoped in September. We actually ended up down when it was all said and done. I had two final tables that I got pretty excited about, though. The first one was in the $55 Cyclone on 888. I actually won it for $1,387.50. There is a highlight video here in the channel if you'd like to take a look at it. I will leave a link down below if you want to check it out after you're done watching the vlog. The other final table that I got really excited about was the 162 Bounty Builder on PokerStars. We made the final table, and I actually busted in 8th place for $1,100, but I was so close to a really good score, and it was the closest that I got to a good score last month. I'm actually going to show you a clip of how I busted it. 31. Good luck, us. We're ahead. No ace, please. Come on, like, seriously. Fuck off. As you can see, I was pretty disappointed to bust in that fashion. It happens, but it always sucks when it happens at a final table of your biggest buy-in. So I was really disappointed. If I had won that pot, I would have been a chip leading stack, and I would have also won $400 bounty. He had an over $800 bounty on his head, so $400 would have gone straight into my pocket. Plus, we would have laddered, right? So, oh man. Yeah, it was really disappointing. So those were my two most exciting tournament runs last month. One of them I won. That was a smaller field, and the bigger buy-in I unfortunately busted in 8th place. I wanted to talk a little bit about average field size. So since I started streaming MTTs, I've mostly just chosen to play the biggest tournaments because I figured, well, those would be the softest. My ROI would be highest. And hey, it's really fun to go deep in a large field tournament and make a really big final table, right? So that was the plan. I'm starting to rethink the strategy a little bit. I mean, it's good for streaming, don't get me wrong. It's good to stream the big 22. It's good to stream the big 55 because people want to watch those tournaments. They want to see someone win $8,000 at a final table. That's really fun. Not as fun, on the other hand, to play a smaller field tournament and win $1,300. But on the flip side, you know, tournaments are very high variance, right? They're very high variance. And in order to kind of realize some sort of expectation, often you need to play some really high volume. Being a streamer, I can't really multi-table a lot. I usually these days have been playing 5 or 6 tables. I have tried to play 7 before. I don't really like doing that. I can't really pay attention to chat very well. So 5 tables is kind of the sweet spot for me. And when I only play 5 tables at a time, I don't play that many tournaments in a day. In fact, in September, I only played a total of 230 tournaments. The typical MTT pro plays 1,000 usually, or more. I actually asked someone how many tournaments a typical MTT pro plays, and they said 1,000 to 1,400 in 1 month. That is a minimum of 5 times more volume. So you can see that I'm not really in a position to play good volume and grind out the variants as well as a normal person who's playing MTTs full time. I realized that with this kind of volume, playing multi-table tournaments, I literally could run bad all year. I could run bad for 2 years with this volume, depending on my expected ROI and my average field size. And that, quite frankly, is very scary. I don't really want to lose money all year. That's awful, right? As a result, I've decided to try cutting down my average field size and see if it helps me turn my downswing around. So I've spent a lot of hours looking at the tournament schedule. Okay, I don't even want to admit how many hours I've spent looking at tournament schedules and figuring out average field sizes, figuring out how long each tournament takes to play, etc., etc. But I have realized a schedule that I think will work well for me. And the average field size is a little bit higher than I'd prefer. I think the sweet spot is like 200 people. It's a nice number of people where the variance is not as high. But my average field size is probably going to be around 350, which is a lot better than it was before I decided to make these changes. So it's not as good as I would like, but this should help. It should help decrease my variance a little bit. The one bad thing is that as a result, I'm playing 0 bounty builders, which sucks. Bounty builders are among some of the softer tournaments on PokerStars, and they're really fun. But there has to be a trade-off here. So, yeah, I'm gonna skip them for now. Maybe I will change my mind. Maybe we'll start running better, and I can start including the large field tournaments again. But for now, I'm going to try to play some smaller fields and try to get this downswing turn around. I mean, it's been frustrating to be losing as often as I have been. And so smaller fields should help that. All right, we made it to the last topic, October plans. So I guess stream related, the one thing that I had to do was actually increase my delay. In the past, I had been streaming with a 3-minute delay while streaming tournaments, and it was fine. It was fine for most of the year. But unfortunately, when I was at the 162 Bounty Builder final table, I got stream sniped hard. I got stream sniped twice. The first one I don't know if it was intentional, but I'm pretty sure, like really sure, that the second one was intentional. People were tanking just so they could see my cards. And that, I mean, when I think about it, when I actually watched the VOD of this happening before I started recording this, and it made me really tilted just to see it again. So they abused my delay. And I mean, when a situation like that happens, I can disconnect my stream and restart it with a longer delay. And I have done this before in the past, but it really sucks to do that. I lose a lot of hype and a lot of viewers. People have to wait an entire 5 minutes for me to come back on Twitch. And I don't want to have to do that. So I am going to permanently change my delay to 5 minutes, I think. Some of my longest subs have expressed concern that it is harder to interact with me when the delay is 5 minutes as opposed to 3 minutes. So maybe it's not permanent. Maybe I will end up going back. But for now, I'm gonna try 5 minutes, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see if we can get used to it. Okay, guys. I'm sorry, but we can make it work. I hope. The other thing that's happening in October, and which is really exciting for me, it's kind of a personal thing to do with my health, is that I actually get to get off one of my medications. I'm currently taking 2 medications for lupus. One of them is called Plaquenil, which I'm actually not exactly sure what it does, but it's supposed to reduce the likelihood of lupus flares. And the second drug is an immunosuppressant, which is supposed to suppress my immune system so that it doesn't attack my body so much. So I am trying to get off the immunosuppressants, and actually I've been trying to do this for the last year and a half. I've been on the immunosuppressants for almost 3 years now, and my rheumatologist has reluctantly allowed me to reduce the immunosuppressant over time. And I was on the smallest dose possible for the last half year. And I was actually planning on asking my doctor if I'd be able to try to come off it. And I thought that she wasn't going to want me to. But actually, the last time I went and had an appointment with her, she said, "Hey, well, you're doing really well. You've been stable for 6 months. Let's take you off it and see if you can stay off it." And I was like, "Really?" And then I wanted to kiss her because I was so excited. I didn't even have to argue my case. She offered to let me try to come off the drug. So to say that I was really happy that day is an understatement, because this is a bad drug. I mean, it has a label on it that says that it causes cancer, okay? So I'm not gonna lie, I don't really want to get cancer. So I've been wanting to get off this medication for so long, and finally I have a chance to do it. As always with medications, there's a slight risk coming off it, and the reason why it took me so long to be able to try to get off it in the first place is because like if you're not familiar with my lupus, I'm not gonna talk about it too much here, and you can go to my blog. I've written a lot about it, but my particular lupus affects my brain, so it's a little bit of a risk, because it's kind of, you're not really sure what's gonna happen when you get off the medication, and what if something bad happens. And the brain's an important organ. I mean, my brain. So it's always been a little bit of a scary thing to think about getting off the drug. But my doctor thinks that she doesn't think that anything bad is going to happen brain-wise right away, at least. So she thinks that there will be other signs of my lupus flaring, so namely joint problems. And so if my joints start to hurt a lot, trust me, I will call her. I will call her and I'll tell her, "Help! My joints hurt." But she thinks that I should be okay other than that. So yay! Cross my fingers. Yeah, I don't know. You could cross your fingers for me too if you want. But I'm really excited to get off it, because it's just going to be so much better for my health. And I hope that I can stay off the immunosuppressant for the rest of my life. That would make me so very happy. So yeah, that's kind of the big thing that I'm going to be going through in October. And I'll just be keeping an eye on that. And yeah, I don't know. It's really cool though. Makes me happy. Okay, we made it to the end of another vlog. Thanks very much for watching episode 11. Really appreciate it. Please do click that thumbs up if you enjoyed the vlog, and also make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I will be recording vlog episode 12 next month, and if you subscribe, you can make sure that you don't miss it. You wouldn't want to miss it, right? If you ever want to watch me play poker live, you can go to twitch.tv/courtiebee, and don't forget about my social media as well. I'll leave links down below, at courtiebee on Twitter, courtiebee8 on Snapchat. Thanks again. Have a great day or night, whatever it is for you, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.